Hi, my name is Santiago, and I am the most adventurous man in El Paso. And when I drink wine, I drink the Primo Vino. Yes. And that is my discussion for today. Primo Vino. What is Primo Vino? You get asked, I get asked, everybody gets asked, and we ask other people all the time. What's a good wine? How do we know it's a good wine? Well, why does he like it and I don't? Why do I love it and he doesn't? Well, there's two answers to that question. There's the wine side, the world of wine. That is made up of the winemakers and the wine masters. They are the ones who decide, the winemakers, what type of wine he's going to make. Light, medium, bold, and it depends on his crop. So he has to make all these decisions. After all, it's his wine and his name. So between the winemakers and the wine masters, they decide who makes the best wine, and they grade them. They give them a grading. It could be anywhere from 80 to 100 points. The higher the points, the better the wine is going to be. So if you come across a very expensive bottle of wine that's a 95 or higher, and it costs $300, $500, $1,000 for the bottle, I can guarantee you it's a good wine. Okay, but you buy that $1,000 bottle of wine and you open it and you hate it. Well, that's the other side. That's the other side of the wine. Why would we hate a $1,000 bottle of wine? Well, it has a lot to do with our palate. Our palate is trained from the day we're born. Everything that we love or we hate, everything that we smell or taste that we love or hate, is by association. We hate it because of a memory. We love it because of a memory. I mean, all these things come into play in our lifetime. So either you're going to love the smell of tobacco, you're going to love the smell of oak, you're going to love the smell of apple pie cooking at grandma's house, or you're going to hate all those. You're going to hate the apple pie, you're going to hate the cherry pie, you're going to hate the smell of grass, you're going to hate the smell of earthy, you're going to hate the smell of oak, you're going to hate the smell of tobacco. All these smells, you're either going to love them or you're going to hate them. And that's pretty much going to answer your question as to what's a good wine. Well, everybody's favorite wine is going to be pretty much different, and it's based on our palates, what we have learned throughout our lifetime as far as loves and hates. We can retrain our palates. I mean, we taste that $1,000 bottle of wine in 6 months, maybe 6 years. It all depends on us. We may turn around and say, oh my God, I can't believe I hated this bottle of wine. It is so good. Well, it's because we re-educated our palate. Well, how do you re-educate your palate? Well, first thing you got to do is figure out why you hate the smell of oak, why you hate the smell of apple pie. You know, you got to figure that out first. And then re-educate yourself to understand it, you know, and really understanding that is understanding the world of wine. Wine is a rainbow of flavors, a rainbow of smells, and those are the things that people look for, their favorite colors, their favorite smells, their favorite tastes. That's going to determine what's a Primo Vino for you and for me. Now, being an owner of a wine bar, I can't go out and just buy all the wines that I love. I may not sell any wine. I have to find a rainbow of different flavors of different types of wines to satisfy every person in that rainbow. And that's where we all have to figure out ourselves, where do we fit in that rainbow of wine lovers? And that's all I am. I'm not a wine master. I'm not a winemaker. I'm just a wine lover. And the more you love wine, the more you're going to discover that, the more you're going to know about wines. If you really want to get into the world of wine, then the more you learn about the wine, the more you learn about the country, the winemaker, why wine is made, how it's made, why is one year different than another. The vintage of the Merlot on that vineyard in that country was, oh, it was so good. But now the next year, the vintage comes in and it's not so good, not as good as the last one. Well, there's reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons for that. And that's where you need to study the world of wine. The more you find out about wine, the more you're going to be hooked on it. And all those flavors that you may not like right now, taste you don't like, you may find yourself understanding it better. You say, okay, now I know why they did it. Oh, that's why they put it in. That's why the enzymes. That's why the aging of the certain oaks, how long they age it. Whether they use oak, do they use steel barrels. All these things come into play. It all depends on what the winemaker is trying to create. And that's the same as anything in the world. Art, you look at pictures on the wall, statues, all these things. It's what the artist was trying to create. And the more you love art, the more you understand the people who are actually painting the pictures, creating the statues and such, and so on and so on. It's the same thing. Food. Food is a very big part of everything in our life, especially wine. Wine and food go together. So it's the same in food. You either love steak or you hate it. You either love chicken or you hate it. And there's a reason for it. If you think about it, you look back and you say, okay, I don't like fish because why? Okay? As soon as you can figure that out, the sooner you can change your palate to actually learn to love fish, to learn to love the chicken, to love the steak, to love the pasta, to love this or that, whatever it is that you used to hate. Okay? That's what they mean by educating your palate. It's first figuring out why I hate it in the first place. And then research it. You know, whether it be chefs, cooking shows, talk to people, friends. Why do you like it? What is it you're smelling? What is it you're tasting? In wine, it's exactly the same thing. In art, in anything in life, it's the same way. You're going to find out it's the same thing. So, what's a Primo Vino? For me, I don't have a particular favor as far as a type of grape or a vineyard or a country. I have become a true wine lover of wine. I love all countries. I love all wines. It depends on what they got to offer. It's like finding a new bottle of wine from a vineyard that I never knew and never heard of. It's like a little kid opening that present on Christmas Day. God, what is it going to be like? What did the winemaker try to create here? What am I going to smell? What am I going to taste? It's all these things are exciting to a wine lover. So, and it's the same with food. A food lover, okay, an art lover, all these things. It's the same thing. So, if you're a lover of something, all you got to do is apply that same logic to anything else that you come across in your lifetime, and you can be a lover of that particular, subject too. Wine, food, whatever it might be. Hot rods, football, basketball, all these things come into play. I mean, it's all the same thing. So the more you learn about something, the more you're going to love it. So Primo Vino, two sides. You got the winemakers and the wine masters who make and grade it and say what is and isn't. One other thing, if you find a lot of times when a wine is that expensive, you can bet it's going to be good. Are you going to like it? Not a guarantee. But it's also expensive because in order to make that special wine, they have to be very picky about the grapes they pick. So they hand-pick the grapes. And now there's not a lot of grapes, so they can only make so much of that wine because it's going to be really Primo Vino. And so it's going to be expensive because it takes a lot to go into making that particular wine. So Primo Vino to you is different than it is to me, than it is to a wine master, to a winemaker. So you need to figure out the smells and tastes you love, the smells and tastes you hate. Figure out why you hate them. Do you want to re-educate your palate? Do you want to be a wine lover? Do you want to be an art lover? Do you want to be a food lover? Well, it's up to you. It's up to all of us. And if you do, then you just need to first discover, like I said, why you hate it in the first place and figure out why it's in there in the second place? You know, why did they create it? Why did they make it taste that way, smell that way, that kind of stuff? And talk to your friends and family, everybody. I mean, you're going to find people all around you that are going to love things that you hate. Talk to them. They'll help. So I hope this helps. This is just one of the videos. There's many I'm going to be making based on questions that we are asked all the time. And so I figure I'll make some videos, put them on our Facebook or YouTube and our website, and for you to look at. Now understand, I am a wine lover. I'm not a wine master. I'm not a wine maker. I just love wine. All wines, whatever they got to offer. Okay, so Vino up, people.